Hello, welcome back to my channel, Thrifty Day. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my newest style of journal. I just wanted to show you the image first. It's my favorite, one of my favorite Snow White images because it's so vintage and I love the colors. This style of journal has 4 signatures, so there's lots of room to grow because that spine is pretty big. And I just wanted you to see the really fun vintagey antiquing on the back of the book. It's super sturdy, so it will last you for years and years. And so let's get into it. This particular journal features a removable charm. All of my charms are removable. I just think that's best because if you don't want one on your journal, you don't have to use it there. You can put it on a different book, a different planner, a different journal, give it as a gift. But this particular one was inspired by the book. There's even a little deer on there, just like the deer in the image on the front. And it also has a cameo that features a vintage image of Snow White. So inside I lined with this pretty floral paper, and then it of course has my signature little pocket that reads "Let the adventure begin," and I add these little tags that have my branding on them, and also one can be used as a starter so you know when you started this journal. And that's a little image of Snow White. I just tried to paper clip a lot of things to the pages so that you can move them around as you choose. And this is just a pocket made with a vintage playing card with an image of Snow White and a little scrapbook cutout. This is a vintage airmail envelope, and I actually love the aging on it. And I just tuck some little ephemera in there for you to use throughout the book as well. I think little tuck spots and envelopes and all of that is so fun, but like I said, I do like to just paper clip it to the pages so that you don't feel confined to where I would perhaps put it. This is a pocket, my favorite Apple paper, you all know that, and I just put some scraps in there. I added tabs to this journal. I thought it added a nice eclectic feel. That's some vintage trim down the side. And another sweet Snow White image from a book. That is actually a high quality photocopy though, and it's on a laser jet printer, so it's not going to bleed or stain or run. This is just a little wax paper bag, and I put some labels, some sticky labels. They're vellum. You just take off the back and you can stick them right to your page. And actually that bag can even be used as ephemera. You can create a pocket or cut it up and even use it as a background. And then of course some tickets, because those are always fun to use. All of the tabs are made from mostly vintage trim, so they're really sweet. And a lot of them give me Fantasyland vibes from Disneyland. So that's a little vintage card that a dear friend gave me a few of, so I used that in here. I thought the flowers were perfect. That's an envelope you can upcycle. I do like using those envelopes with the windows. I think you can be really creative with that. Did some stamping on some little coin envelopes, little scrap paper, and that is a little Tim Holtz bit of ephemera. So I just paper clip that to the page as well. I'm going to start making more journals like this that are thicker, bigger, with a lot more pages and extra signatures. So let me know down in the comments what style you would prefer. Would you like to see Peter Pan? Would you like to see non-Disney? Would you like to see animals? Would you like to see vintage little golden book perhaps? Let me know, because I really do want to get started on a new collection that will likely debut after an event I have coming up at the end of March. That's a little vintage postcard. I just thought the colors were perfect though, so I added it. Let me know what kind of themes you'd like to see. That's a pocket from a vintage storybook, and I just love the little dwarf caricatures. Because I'd love to get started and I would love to take your feedback. Let me know how you feel about pockets If you like those shorter pockets that I just kind of featured, they're like half-page pockets, or if you like the taller pockets with the punch cut out at the top where you can easily slip things in and out on the side. Do you like bands down the middle? Just your feedback. What are kind of your favorite creative things that you see in these pre-made journals I'm making? Because I would love to incorporate those, especially into the new collection that I want to make, that are these kind of window style journals that aren't classically storybook covers, but are more handmade by me. So the other difference with this type of new journal that I'm debuting is there's going to be a lot more ephemera, because with more pages, you need more ephemera. So this was a fun little CD pocket that I dyed. And these are all actual vintage playing card copies. I own these cards. They're mine. I haven't used them. And they look exactly like this. So I went and made copies on a laserjet printer so that the colors wouldn't run and they would always stay true no matter where you glued them or used them or taped them. So they're perfect for journaling, and you can cut them up or you can keep them the way they are, or you can keep them in the envelope if you like. So I thought that was a really fun way to use that. I put lots of vintage book pages in here. Some are from old Snow White books, as you can see, that evil queen, and some are from other children's books that I just thought the animals were very cute and added to the theme of Snow White with her animal friends. These are some little Tim Holtz tags that you can add twine in and use in your journaling. I love that little size because I think you can just staple them to the sides of pages and use them as tabs. So I do that a lot in my journaling. That is actual vintage music paper. There's another tab right there on that vintage storybook page. This is actually one of my favorite pockets to make. I have one in my current Magic Memory Book journal. It's made of a very large eyelet trim. Hello Sunshine reminded me so much of Snow White when she says only you can fill the world with sunshine. So I wanted to add that. That's a vintage playing card in a little wax paper bag, which is really fun to journal with. You all know how much I love vintage playing cards. So I try to add them in a lot of my journals that I create and also sell. This is not... Some of these images you see of Snow White are not actual vintage book pages, but they are rather copies of vintage book pages. So feel free to cut them up and use them. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's vintage, I don't want to cut it, I don't want to use it. It's really fun when they are high quality photocopies because you really can just use them and not feel bad about it. Because I know a lot of times I feel like, oh, I just don't want to use this because what if I find a better use for it and it's vintage, I'll never get it back. So some of them, not all, some are copies, so you can just cut them up and use them at your will, which I think is actually a benefit. How iconic is Snow White kissing Grumpy? I mean, oh my goodness. It just doesn't get any more iconic than that. And I just love vintage sheet music. I did a lot of hand stamping on a lot of the ephemera because I think it adds a lot of personality. It's a little half page you can use. I don't know if you could see Snow White in the reflection of that mirror down there, or window rather. I love those vintage book pages. And this is another one of those half pockets. I love it because you can actually journal on the pocket and slip memories inside of the pocket. This is a doily. You can just glue it right to the page or cut it up and put it on a corner. Those little half pockets to me are the real MVPs of pages because I really feel like it makes a really fun extension into your layouts. There's another vintage playing card I created to make a pocket. So I just tucked some scraps and ephemera in there. That's from a vintage children's book, and I thought the images of the wildlife was really sweet. Another Tim Holtz piece. You all know I love Tim Holtz and I use them in a lot of my journaling. This wax paper bag I added some more self-stick labels into, and I love these labels because I feel like they have a very vintage look to them. And what's also really neat is they're see-through, so you can write on them but it actually won't cover your book page image or your photo or your tags, you can stick it on there, and whatever you stick it over, you can actually still see a little bit of. So those are really fun tags to work with. And here's another little coin envelope that I did some stamping on, and a few more little Tim Holtz products and little scraps inside there. I love using these envelopes. I cut off the top and I just create a pocket and stick it right to the page. You'll see that in a lot of my journaling. Another one of those little tabs. This is a flip-up page with a vintage storybook page. And another one of those half pages. This is Worn Wallpaper by Tim Holtz. You could use that as a background page or even a journaling page. And I had to end it with the Happily Ever After photo of Snow White and Prince Charming. And of course all the dwarfs. So like I said, this journal contains 4 signatures and there is tons and tons of room for growth. And it's completely sealed with Liquitex. So this journal will last you for years and years. So I hope you love it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them all below. I'd be happy to chit chat with you and answer them. I hope you have a really great week, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.